Hi, this tutorial is academic retention, achievement and success rate developed using C#. Now let me show you guys how it works. If I click on this cell right there and I leave, you see the 0 comes back, but if I click on it and enter data in it, that is supposed to be the numbers of students that start the course. So let's populate this column. Alright, that's supposed to be the numbers of all the students that started the course. Now, so I just speed it up. So that's supposed to be the number of the students that started the course. Those are the numbers of the students left on the course. At the end of the academic session, these are the numbers of students that pass or that passes the course. So for each group, we have group A, B up to group L. So the overall here, we calculate retention, achievement and success rate. So if I click on that right there, you see the retention, achievement and success rate for each group right there. And here I have a progress bar that shows how the calculation takes place. Right underneath here we have average calculator, the academic average results. So if I click on that, that gives you the average for retention, average for achievement and average for success rate. We can even reset the system. So what I will do now is to take you guys straight into C# and we can develop one of these together. So let's go into C# now. Hi and welcome to Visual Studio 2015. In this tutorial I'm going to be developing what is known as retention, achievement and success rate using C#. So let's click on project, new project, and now we select C# right there, select Windows Forms application, and let's give that a name, C# underscore retention underscore achievement underscore success. Then that's the name of my file. So click on OK. Okay, now our form is ready. We now define the size of this form. Let's go to size right there. Okay, that's the size. It's 1182 by 548. So position, let's position it right at the center there. So the next thing is to get a label on board. Let's look for a label right there. Double click on that very label there. That's the label there. Now let's come into the properties of this very label and change the following. So auto size, set that to false. Then border style, make that fixed single, and fonts, let's make the font approximately 16 bold right there. Okay, that's my label there. So I'm just going to now copy this label across. Let's delete the text content in there first. Delete that and just copy it across. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, and I need another 3 here. Okay, let's extend these to about that size and just leave it right there. Okay, so the next thing we want now is to maybe copy this and just bring it down. Okay, and I'm gonna need some text box. Alright, let's go for the text box and just draw that somewhere here, or maybe even rearrange the whole thing. Bring this one here and this here, and I need this text box here. Yeah, that's looking good now. Okay, let's just drag it down, and I'm going to do the same thing to this. Let's bring it down. So what I will do now is just speed up the whole process and get back to you guys. Alright, this is how the whole system looks right now. So I'm going to need a couple of buttons as well. So let's come in here and get a button in place. Drag one off about that. And let's change the font size of this very button to, first of all, let's go for that and just enter. Now let's go for the font size. Change that to maybe 30. Make that bold. 30. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to need a couple of those more, so we can just copy across and change the data in there. Alright, let's speed up the whole process of that. Alright, this is how the whole interface look right now. So the next thing I will do now is to start coding. So let me start by selecting all of these. I'm going to select all of this just to prevent the one using entering something totally different from numbers. So now go to the property and come right here, go to events, and right there we need key press. When the key is pressed, so I'll call that numbers only. There we go. Okay, and there, that's the line of codes. So what will happen is if you there enter character instead of numbers, this message will pop up. So let's run it and see how it works. Alright, I'll try and enter just numbers in there. Okay, now let's try and enter, say, characters or alphabet, and that's what happened. Okay, so let's try to get the exit working. So come to the exit, double click on that, and just enter application dot exit. Alright, that's the exit taken care of as well. Then the next thing I will want us to take care of now will be just this ones here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is to be able to click on any of these text boxes. While we click on it, we like these values in there to disappear, then we can enter data in there. So let's select all of these and come right here, go to the property, select the event, come to click event, and let's just call that enter value. Okay, so with the enter value, that will actually group those text boxes. So in there we say, okay, there we just need to say text box right there. Maybe we just call it text box T. That's not meant to be there. Let's put it here. Equals sender as text box right there. So now T will represent all of those text box. So let's say T dot text equals clear. Alright, and T dot text, let's set the focus there. No, T dot text there. So what will happen is when I run this system, these few lines of code that you guys are seeing, when I run the system, this is what will happen. Okay, if I click on any of these text box, can you see that the zeros in there just disappears, which means I can enter value in there. But notice when I click on it and leave it empty, not entering anything there, we should be able to take care of that, else that's going to cause an error. Let's use mouse leave for that. So what I'll suggest we do is select all of them again, come straight to the property, And right here, let's look for mouse leave. Here in the mouse leave, let's give it a name. So we can just call that, we can just say back to 0, because it does default back to 0. So click on that. Now we are back to 0. So I'm going to now create an object, text box. Yeah, I can always call it T again. Text box T equals sender as text box. Now press enter, and right here we're going to use an if statement to check if there's any data inside t.text equals empty. So if it's empty, we want the following to happen. So we want t.text to be assigned 0, and that is all there is to it. Okay, this is meant to be compared. Okay, right, you just have to compare to check if it's empty. All right, so with these few lines of code, if you mistakenly leave any of those text box empty, it will default back to 0. So let's run it now and see. Here is the system now. So if I click on any of these text box and decide to move my mouse away from that very text box, yeah, you see it default back to 0. Okay, just any of them. So that's the whole idea, because you just don't want to leave it empty. If you leave it empty and you want to run the system, when it comes to creating all of this calculation here, there will be an error. Okay, that's the whole idea. So we've taken care of that. Alright, the next thing is maybe we should take a look after the reset button. Okay, let's exit and come right here. Let's double click on our reset button. So within the reset button, we just need to enter as follows. So let's grab the name of the very first one right here. Let's look for it. The name is txt starter A. So back to my reset button there, txt starter A, right there. The text equals default back to 0. Okay, that's just to reset it. Now we speed that up now. There, right there. So that's the reset button. So all we need to do now is to give this reset a try. Let's see if it works. So that is the reset for all of the components on board, and if it works, we just call that the end of the first part of the tutorial. So let's give it a shot and see. Alright, so I enter whatever value in there. Okay, so we'll just use this to test and see. Okay, so decision time, let's just try it out. That is it, the reset is working. Okay, mouse click working, mouse leaves working. That's fine, that is fine as well. So all that is left for us to do now is to take care of the overall calculation, the retention, the achievement, or I just call it achieve, and the success rate. So maybe I should just change this to achievement. Let's go back in there, change that to achievement. Then we can call it the end of first part of the tutorial. Right, so that is achievement there. We need a bit of more room for that, so maybe reduce it. Let's reduce it to 29. Okay, so everything is now looking the way I want. So with that, I'll just call it the end of the very first part of this tutorial. See you guys in the second part.